Welcome back to the Forte Analysis channel. My name is Aaron, son of Ratna, and my dad uses this thing called a continuous glucose monitor, ICGM, OTC for short. The full name, to be more specific, is a over-the-counter integrated continuous glucose monitor. So we'll be comparing two products today, the Lingo made by Abbott and the Stelo made by Dexcom. Lingo, as it shows on the packaging, a study was conducted to assess the biosensor life where 71.1% of the biosensors lasted the full 14 days. In other words, when using the product per the package labeling, approximately 22.9% of the biosensors may not last for the full 14 days, and 14.7% of biosensors may last less than 11 days. That's a lot. So I've brought to you my dad to show you how this works, a side-by-side comparison, because I don't know anything about it. So let me give him the mic, and we'll continue.
Well, thank you, Aaron. Hello, guys. I don't think I've been on the Forte Analysis channel in a long time, huh? Yeah. Most of you know me, will know that I'm researching a lot about health, fitness, longevity, just trying to be healthy as possible. And, I've kind of evolved my own philosophy. One of the key things, in my opinion, is, making sure your blood sugar is kept at check. So I'm following a low-carb diet and try to keep my blood sugar as stable as possible. So I like to really see how different types of food affect, how exercise, sleep, stress, activity also impacts your blood glucose itself. So we have two products that are now available over the counter. The way I first got started, my doctor gave me some sample glucose monitors, CGMs, and they were the Freestyle Libre made by Abbott. But there's only so many samples you could get. I'm glad that now they are making these sensors readily available for people curious and want to monitor and understand their blood sugar. You could now get it over the counter. So I'm pretty sure there's a couple of other sensors available. I can't remember their names, but the two primary sensors are made by Abbott, and the other one is Dexcom. Dexcom makes a sensor called Stelo, and Abbott makes a sensor called Lingo. So in my opinion, I'm not going to wait till the end, get to the bottom line. In my opinion, I tried both of them, and I like the Lingo better. And I'll give you a little bit of reasoning. One thing, the Lingo will measure your blood sugar, at least it'll report it every minute, and it seems like it's doing it over Bluetooth, and it's continuously reading every minute and updated. The Dexcom sensor takes a reading every 5 minutes, and then it only updates it to the phone every 15 minutes. So that to me was one reason. I like to get more data, being in racing. We're always monitoring things at a higher frequency just to get more details. I'm not sure whether the details are accurate or not. There's a couple of different theories people are saying, because it's not like a direct blood sugar reading. It's on your skin. It's from the membrane. I'm not exactly sure how it gets the readings, but at least I've seen it move enough based on my activity on the Lingo sensor, and it's moved in the right direction. Like, I've started exercising, and I could see the blood sugar going up because my body is producing sugar through gluconeogenesis. and it's a natural process. Like when you demand for, even when I'm fasting or not eating, my body will produce the sugar that's needed, and I could see that trend of the blood sugar going up. Like I don't have to wait 5 minutes to find out whether there's a trend or something happening. And if you catch it on the wrong side, you might have to wait 15 seconds till it takes two readings at 5 minutes and updates it at 15. And the big negative for the Dexcom was the app that they provide with the sensor only keeps the data for 24 hours. Then after that, it's like only captures 24 hours at a time, and you can't go back and look at the data. So if, in case I want to show a friend or somebody like, hey, look what happened when I ate this thing, 3 days ago, I can't show them that. And you can't take a screenshot because it's a medically protected thing, so it doesn't let you take a screenshot. The only way you could do it is to take another phone and take a picture of the phone itself. On the Lingo, it gives you data throughout the entire sensor period. So those are the main things. I'm not sure why Dexcom did that. I know there's another third-party app, or maybe it's their app you could get and integrate it with it, and you got to run it at the same time, and maybe it captures the data and it retains it. But it'll be just nice to have just one app that does the whole thing. Let me just go through my notes to see what I'm missing here. So the Abbott sensor, the Lingo, you could buy one at a time. They're, I think, $49 for one. You could do a subscription for longer term and save a little bit more, I'm imagining. The Stelo, you have to buy two of them, and they're $99 for the two. You have no option to just buy one. Then the other thing couple of things that I noticed, the Lingo reading seems to be on the lower side, or maybe it's the normal. The sensor that I wore two Dexcom sensors. Both of them seemed like they were reading higher than normal, and it wasn't just in the learning phase. Throughout the entire time I had the sensor, I was kind of like disappointed with myself, because I was always like either close to 100. I was definitely above 80 all the time, and most of the time I was above 100. And I know my blood sugar is not that high, and I like do prick it and take a real reading as well. And most of the time I was almost 20 points, 10 to 20 points higher than what my real blood sugar read. So when I had that 2 weeks or a month that I wore it, I just kind of knew that, and I had to kind of like, I didn't find a place to calibrate it, so I just had to keep in mind that that was the case and not be bothered by it. From a addition, I'll show you the two sensors. I did knock one of these off on a drawer right over there in the corner. This one, I've only tried one so far. This looks very similar to the Freestyle Libre sensor, so I'm pretty sure it's a duplicate of it. And I've worn several of these. I did knock one of these off too, maybe 1 out of 6. This was 1 out of 2. I do have some over patches that I normally put, but I didn't have them. It's in the motorhome, so I just had to do without it. And one of the things that I really noticed and bothered was when I wore both sensors in 2 different arms, occasionally I got like a sensation that I had a needle in my arm, and it was uncomfortable to a certain extent. You could feel like something was pricking you, and I don't know why. I mean, this, looking at the two filaments that are sticking out, this one, it looks like it's made out of a composite or plastic. This one looks like it's made out of metal, but it's a lot thinner. Maybe it's not as flexible, and if you bend it, it retains its shape. This one, if you bend it, it kind of takes back like a piece of plastic, and this one acts more like a piece of wire. So the first sensor that I tried through Lingo didn't last the full 14 days. It only lasted, I believe, 11 or 12 days. And then it stopped reading. I called them. And that's another plus too. There's a real 800 number that you could call, and somebody actually answers the phone and talks to you. That's in my opinion, that good customer service. I tried to look for a number. I did not find a number for Dexcom. Maybe there is, so I don't want to kind of like mislead people. But this number was easy to find for the Lingo and easy to call. And then within 5 minutes of the conversation, they just ran through a couple of checks and sent me another sensor. So that's nice that they back their product. And then looking at the two sensors, I don't know whether you could see them. This one looks like it's got a couple of rusty spots. Maybe that's why it stopped working. Seems like there's a battery right here, and there's another something over here. I'm not sure what it is, but they both have like two little vent holes to the outside, and maybe water, sweat gets in there and does damage. This one looks like it's pretty sealed, and it's got epoxy coating, so I don't think there's any way for any liquid to get inside the sensor on this one. So that could be a problem with these sensors through Lingo, but I will monitor them as I take them off and see whether they all get rusty. I do go in the sauna quite a bit, and also ice plunge, so these get submerged and sweaty. That could be a reason that they failed. Application wise, this is the Lingo applicator. It comes in two pieces. The sensor comes in a foiled container. You take this applicator, you lock it in, and then it's spring loaded. You put it on your arm and you push it, and it launches the mechanism, and it inserts the sensor and it sticks to your arm. The other one, it's already in there. You just got to hold this over your arm and push this button, and it launches the spring-loaded mechanism, and it secures the sensor in that way. So, I mean, I really don't have a preference, but I think this is a better system because it just has a nice button and it launches it. I don't know whether accidentally you could launch it prematurely. That could happen, I guess. That could be a negative, but I think they're both okay, and they both work great. Then what else to talk about these sensors? So my goal was, I got quite a few sensors. I got 4 of them. I was thinking I could take them to the Daytona test when we did the test and put it on some of our drivers and some of the mechanics and monitor each one's blood sugar, because we'll be all kind of like eating the same food but doing different things. I just wanted to see what our blood sugars were doing based on each individual as well. But then I found out that when they get shipped, you have to open an account to get them shipped to you. So they're kind of registered to you. So if somebody else uses, they basically have to use your phone with your app under your name. So that's not possible for somebody to use it. Well, we'll see whether we could find a solution from Lingo. Maybe we could contact their team and they could do some kind of a program for a team application. I know companies like Signos that use the Abbott sensor, they have that kind of capability. So maybe there's a third-party company that could do it. And I was also thinking maybe one of the reasons, speaking of Signos, maybe some of the reason that Dexcom does not they give such a basic app could be maybe they have contracts with companies like Signos and they don't want to create something too complicated and too sophisticated because then they take market share away from a company like Signos. But that's my personal, maybe putting two and two together, but it could not be accurate at all. It could be some other reason. But the Lingo app seems to be much better. It retains data over the entire period of the sensor. It takes readings every minute. I don't know whether it's a gimmick or not, but I do see the glucose trend, and the way it moves is directly as a result of something that I'm doing, and it's going in the right direction. And I could also see, like, when I'm either getting a little bit, I think I could see the stress elevating that, whether it's like stress trying to quickly make it from one gate to another. It's a combination of stress and exercise, I guess, in that kind of occasion. You're hustling to get to a gate and you're worried whether you're going to miss your flight. So that scenario could be a stress exercise combination. But I've also seen it move just sitting, talking, and getting a phone call and getting certain type of news or trying to make decisions, and I see my blood sugar going up. So I guess in that kind of scenario, it might be just stress. I know I babbled a lot, but I will do another video with Aaron on how to apply the sensor. And then I think I'm going to give you guys updates. I'll shoot him some videos from Daytona to let you know how the sensor is working and whether we were able to get some sensors on the drivers while they're driving, see what happens to their blood sugar. And we were also thinking about, they have a drink bottle in the car. We could, certain drivers like certain things in, some people like Gatorade, some people just like, some of the drivers like water. Some drivers use electrolytes in their drink bottle for their stint. Most drivers are in the car for an hour. Sometimes we might double stint them and in the car for 2 hours. So I'm really curious to see what happens to their blood sugar based also on what they're drinking within that stint. So I'll give you guys an update on that, how all that works. See you soon. I'm going to hand off the mic to my son, Aaron. You want to say something in closing?
Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll catch you in the next one.